Welcome everyone to Ed Talk TV, conversations worth having. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let me know, how is your day going? If this is your first time joining, welcome. This is a business talk show. That's right, we talk about business, tech, and the user experience. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, and I'm your business development and tech expert. Basically, that means that I help you show up, deliver, and engage. And through this whole broadcast, and I mean like Monday through Friday, we go live all 5 days of the week, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's crazy, but it's fun. We are here and we just have the conversations worth having. It's all around business and how we can incorporate tech and just looking at the different experiences that everyone goes through. And then we have great guests that will come on, like Mickey's been on the show, Erica's been on the show. Sometimes we have guest roundtable discussions where we had all three of us at once. We're looking to do that again. I need to touch base with a few people on that. And favorite hour of the day. Thanks, Mickey. And so it's just really fun and interesting around here. You want to make sure, though, this is a big one for those who are new. You want to make sure that after this broadcast, you turn on your notifications because we're going to talk about what's going on with Facebook. So after this, you want to make sure to turn on your notifications. That can mean hitting follow the page, not just like, but follow, and then making sure you see first. And then usually after the broadcast, there's a spot that says notifications, get notifications for the videos. Because here's what's happening. I don't know about you guys, and if you're watching the replay, let me know as well. But here's something that I'm noticing, and I don't know if this is just because of the hot water going on with Facebook right now, if this is just a bad week for all of us, or if it's just my page, or what may be going on. But what I'm noticing, and I'm going to show it to you as well, is on my phone. So I go live on my desktop, and I also have the phone nearby so that I can kind of take a look and make sure things are working right. So I know things are working because you guys are here. Hey, Chrissy, welcome. I know it's working because you're here. And we're going to talk a little bit about what I noticed yesterday as well. But let's talk about what I'm noticing today. And you guys tell me, even if you're watching this replay tomorrow, this weekend, it doesn't matter. Hey, Paula, when you have noticed this, let me know. So right now I'm checking it out on the phone. This is what I'm getting. It's just a spinning wheel. Hey, Whitney, see, all of you guys are popping on right now. This is interesting. So stay tuned because this is going to be good. And then we're going to get into today why you have to think like Uber. So we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We are going to have a shorter episode today, FYI, because I have a guest interview. Well, I'm being interviewed on Instagram, which I'll share info about that here in a few minutes. But let's stick to this. So Facebook, we know, is in some hot water right now about the data breach and everything. And obviously this week, Mark is in trial and there's all this stuff going on with it. So I don't know if it's just my page. You guys tell me if you're experiencing this or if you've noticed it, but maybe you didn't know it until now. But what's happening is on my page, when I go live the last couple days, including today, it's not showing a direct feed on my page for me. I know it's working because you guys are here, but all I get is spinning. But I can still see your comments and you're hearting it up and you're sharing it, so that's cool. I like that. Hey, Vicky, welcome. No worries. I'm glad that you're here just to say hi. And so it's very interesting. I noticed this yesterday on my page, and thankfully it's working for you guys, which is good. But here's an interesting thing. So we know, if you're new around here, please be sure to comment, by the way, because it's all about the comments for you, not just for me, but for you. That's how you get noticed. But what's interesting is we talked about on the show last week, we did a test, and we saw the results on Monday. But we did a test where we put a link in the post for a Facebook Live. So let's break that down real quick. We know Facebook wants us to go live. That's like the number one thing. They want us to go live. So above anything else, that's like your first priority if you want to be seen in the newsfeed. Now again, it doesn't guarantee that you'll be seen in the newsfeed or when you'll be seen in the newsfeed, but that's just like the hierarchy. That's the top one there that you want to work with. And then that goes down from there to videos, to photos, to just text. Rarely ever links. Like you just don't want to put links in the post, which is so weird because that's what generates the photos, the images, right, for our posts. And that's also what makes it easier for people to get to where they need to go. So from a user experience, it sucks if you don't put the link there. But from a business page here on Facebook standpoint, it's what's going to hold your post down. It's going to keep you held back, basically. So try to not have a link in the actual post. Try to create an image and pop it in there for it. But here's what happened. On Friday, I believe it was Friday, we did the Facebook Live, but we had a link in the post because we wanted to test it. Then on Monday, we saw live here how much it held that post back. Now, on average, my Facebook Lives the reach will be well over 250 on average for that day. And then, of course, it can grow over time. But for the most part, during the day, it's on average over 250 for the reach. That one, I can't remember the exact numbers, but that one we saw had, I think, less than 100 and, I want to say 60. I have another number because I'm going to tell you another example, but something like that. And that was over a week. Excuse me. That was over a weekend. So you can see right there that links are not good for your post from a business page. It doesn't even matter if it's a great link. If it's coming from your business page especially, and you're not paying for ads, because remember, you guys, I don't pay for any ads yet. All my stuff is organic. I don't pay for Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn. I don't do advertising yet for paid. I create my own ads, but it's not like I'm paying a service like Facebook to run ads for me. So all my stuff is like literally me just putting in the hard work and then hopefully having you guys also share and spread the word of mouth, because word of mouth marketing is the best form of advertising. So that was the first example. So we saw that. Now, for those who weren't here yesterday, and I don't know if this is because Facebook's in hot water or if the algorithm's just having some crazy mix-up these days or what, but yesterday we had a special guest, Robert Clancy, who, if you missed yesterday's episode, you definitely want to check it out. Put it on your to-do list for later. Don't do it now, but do it later, because it was awesome. And if you're in the Hey Ed community, we actually had after the show. And that's what I'm going to call that segment, by the way. For those who don't know, I have my own private community called Hey Ed, and that allows you to basically get what you need when you need it. Whether it's business advice, tech support, whatever, it's there for you, and you're part of a supportive community, and then I have tools and resources for you. Anyway, there's that part. So in the Hey Ed community, after the show, for certain guests, if they're willing to stick around, we'll have the after show, and that's where we'll go into just talking more past the show. So anyway, Robert hung out in the group there as well, and we had a great time. So yesterday was awesome because we had the guest expert. He brought to the table some amazing advice, and what was interesting. And I was afraid that it might do this, but I really wanted to make sure that people knew about the show. So I scheduled the show to go out 10 minutes prior to 4 o'clock, because we go live at 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. So the way I schedule it is because I use a program called Ecamm Live, which allows me to go live from my desktop. So I went through, scheduled it just 10 minutes before. Nothing crazy, right? Just 10 minutes before, because I know the algorithm sometimes takes a while to push the post out. And what was interesting is that post, the reach still has not gone above 160. Isn't that crazy? Usually, when you have a guest on your show and you have different tags going on, usually your post is going to be higher up in the reach because you're collaborating. You're giving Facebook what they want. You're making room to work with others. And yet, I bet you it's because it was scheduled and the algorithm really doesn't want any scheduling going on right now. It's hard to say. It's always a guessing game. But I'm just sharing the experiences with you so you can kind of, test and see with your page. But right now it's looking like obviously no links in the post from a business page. There no scheduling from a business page in terms of going live. I should say that, yeah, and post. I mean, if you're using like say Buffer, Hootsuite, Later, whatever other social media scheduler, don't schedule your post to your business page. Use the built-in scheduler for Facebook because that's all on Facebook. Facebook is not having anything to do with third parties right now. It especially now, it's all bad. Let me see the comments real quick. Chrissy, is that because you scheduled it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Chrissy, because let me tell you, yesterday it was like crickets. Crickets. It was the weirdest thing. Of course, that's right when Mark was in the trial, so I mean, I think that's had a lot to do with it as well. But it's just really interesting to note the differences between yesterday and just today. I mean, already just seeing everyone pop in here so quickly. And so it makes me assume that because I scheduled it, even if it was only a few minutes prior, because I scheduled it, Facebook's like, no, sorry, dude, like pass. So let me see what Mickey says. Priorities. Facebook wants you to go live. Yep. Priority number 2, Facebook doesn't like the links in the post. Exactly. It decreases the reach by approximately 1/2 or more. Yep. And 3, scheduling a show prior will also likely reduce reach. Yeah, it's true. And so you guys, I'm sharing this with you because I want you to test this on your pages too, because every page is going to be different. And what works for us today is going to change tomorrow. It's almost a guarantee, especially with all the craziness going on with Facebook right now. Like, there's nothing that's going to be guaranteed to work the same way it did yesterday or last month or whatever. It's all a mess right now. And I don't know, have you guys noticed in your notifications how crazy sometimes it will be? Like, I'll see a notification, let's say from Whitney on my personal profile. It will just pop up. It says a few seconds later. But it's not at the top of my notifications. It's mixed up down here in the ones from an hour ago. And I have on my business page, it says that I have 20 plus inbox messages. My inbox is clean. I got nothing. I have had nothing in there for days. Yet it still tells me I have 20 plus messages. And there's nothing. Like, I went to spam. I cleaned up everything. Like, there's nothing. Nada. But yet it still says I have it there. Whitney says, yeah, there's a problem. We use during worship, program that she uses during worship service. We got a notice from Pro Presenter that the feature to stream through Facebook and Twitter, they canceled. Yeah, so because Facebook's in some hot water, real hot water, they're trying to go real extreme and just like, okay, let's just cut everything and then figure out what we can do. I mean, that's basically how it feels right now. So, yep, exactly, Tammy. Roll with it. Hashtag roll with it. And that's true. That's what we do, and that's why I'm sharing it with you before we get into today's content. Erica says, the reach from my live yesterday was lowish now that I look back at it, but I was able to share it out without buffering/spinning. Yeah, so see, I'm glad it's not just me, and it is weird to, and Chrissy says she's noticed that too. So it's weird that the spinning thing is happening on my device. I don't know, and it's can't be my phone because I can see everyone else is fine. So it's really weird. Chrissy, the Facebook, the data breach, that's the biggest news right now, is the data breach and the mishandling of our information and all of that stuff. So there's a lot going on. So before I forget, we're going to jump into the content, but give me 1 second. I'm going to share this with you guys in the comments. This is in case any of you guys want to hang out on Instagram later. I'm a guest expert on Shani's show here, and I'm popping it in to the comments there. Don't go there now, but you can go there later. It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. What is it? 8 Eastern. So there's that for you, because it's going to be fun. I have never done dual broadcast, I guess. I've never been a guest on someone's Instagram Live. And I've only done Instagram Live, I think probably that one time that we did the other day, I think it was Monday, where we tested it here, where we were doing 2 broadcasts at once. That was pretty much all I did. So it will be interesting. Where's the Ed mug? I know. So Tammy, I have my Ed mug. I actually have a few hanging around the office. So I have one with the pens right now. I need to redesign it though, because we've gone through some changes. We've grown. We've gone through the changes. I want to clean this up. So here, this is a good lesson for you guys. I will be the example right now. How's that? I will be the example. Thank you, Tammy, for reminding me of that. Whoops, let me get this off because that's going to start messing things up. So here's a great example. So I created these mugs, right? They're fun, they're awesome, and they're still relevant, but because I've done so many things and I've wanted to clean my branding up. Yes, this is me, and yes, I am the founder of StupidEasy.com, which is my other business, not my consulting business, and I do make things stupid easy for you. But part of my cleanup is to make sure that I separate Stupid Easy, which is its own business, which is all online course platform. It's kind of like a Udemy or a Teachable, where you can go create your online courses and then not have to be tech savvy and then be able to sell them. So that's its own brand. And then I have Ed Troxel Creative, which is this one over here, which is my consulting business. It's kind of my creative powerhouse, right? That's where I can do all these other things underneath. So part of that is what I needed to go back and do with these mugs, is change that up. And because we develop over time, you guys, when I first started with this mug, I like the start, learn, grow, share, but first, checkwithed.com. Well, you can still go to checkwithed.com, but it just redirects you to my main website because I like that domain name and it was easier for you to remember. And so that way it just points you there, right? And there's so many different things, but that's just a quick little, side note of you just evolve and you change, and to be open about that and to share those experiences really helps you and your audience. And let's see, Tammy says, I got you. Let's talk. New mugs. Yes, I can get you some great prices. It's all in who you know. Look at Tammy over here, already hustling me right now. She's like, okay, I can get you those mugs. Meet me out back over in the alley. Bring the goods, and we'll get the mugs going. Okay. Hey, Letitia. I think I said that right. Sometimes I think too much and I mess up people's names, you guys, and I totally hate that. But that's the thing that's always happened to me. So anyway, we're just jumping in, and what we were talking about. I was going to give you guys this. Speaking of links, we will put this one in just to remind you that if all else fails, all you need is to click this one later to get all of my stuff. If you're trying to find me on social media, you're trying to find me on my website, whatever, like this is your one all, click all. I'm going to put that in the comment. One all, click all for Ed. See how much fun we have? Boom. So don't do that now, but that's for later, just for you. Yes, I did it. Awesome. Okay, cool. See, if I think about it too much though, then I start screwing myself up. So now we're going to get into today's content before I have to hurry off to my guest expert position panel. Whatever. It's all right. It's Wednesday. So think like Uber. So let's talk about Uber. Let's just start with the basics. Do we know what Uber is? Anybody want to shout out in the comments? Do we know what Uber is? And why? No. Do you know what Uber is? And have you used Uber? You might be using it right now. I don't know. I mean, that would be cool. But do you know what Uber is and have you used it? I'm drinking a lot of water today because I'm so thirsty, and I had some almonds before this. I know, totally random, but this is a talk show. So I had some almonds before this, so it's like I'm like trying to get the water to chill out the almonds. Yes, Erica says, okay, cool. So yeah, you guys, I will say, and we'll talk what Uber is in a second. I will say I love Uber. I haven't used Lyft, I don't think ever. I know they're very similar. Basically, they're ride-sharing apps that you can get on your phone and have somebody come pick you up. It's like your own personal taxi without having to get in the nasty, gross taxis. And, you know, while New York, like taxis can be still decent, I know they're probably still gross, but they're still decent compared to some of the hoopties that you find around here in my area. Like I wouldn't even want to get like 5-10 feet close to some of these taxis. No offense, but I'm a walk. So anyway, with Uber, whenever I travel, that's the one. I guess because they were first, I don't know, but I use them all the time when I'm traveling. And Tammy says, yeah, super clean, super nice, local drivers. Yeah, and so with Uber, it's nice because you can quickly just pull up on your phone and go through and pick something. So let me see. I'll just pull them up right here. Erica says, you never use Lyft? I know. I pretty much divide my time. Yeah, most people go between Lyft and, well, I guess there's only Lyft and Uber anyway. But a lot of people, some are hardcore Uber people, some are hardcore Lyft, and then you got the mix like Erica. She's like, whatever. Lyft's sometimes cheaper though, I hear that. So with Uber, what's nice is you can go through and you can see, whoops, I'm not going to show you my card. So let's get that out of there. But you can go through and like see a map and you can pop in. The only thing it asks you, where to, ? How simple is that? It literally, it's like Google. When Google first started, I say first started because now we literally just type everything into the search bar, but we don't actually go to google.com. But remember, we've seen that example, is that with Google, it was just a search bar that you type into, and then the whole world comes to you. Uber, same thing. Search bar, where to. That's its only job. Where do you want to go? Very simple, right? Letitia says, I use a Lyft because I love the color of the brand. Yeah, see? And I will say, maybe, you know what? Maybe that's why I like Uber. That's an interesting part, Tammy. One of our branding champions here. That is a good thing to point out, is the colors, the branding. I love Uber for its simple, clean, white, black, just urban feel, is the best way I can explain it. So for me, I like that. Where Lyft, I'm like, with this pink, like, what is it, the lip? Isn't it like, don't most of the Lyft drivers have like this pink, fuzzy, big, bulky mustache or lip or something? And to me, I'm just like, not my thing. But that's a great point to have. So with Uber, the main focus is it's a map where to. You tap in the top, it picks up your current location, and you put in where you want to go to. That's it. And then what happens? Well, let's say we want to go to the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, it's definitely not 3 minutes away. But the next car that would want to take me there is 3 minutes away. So it tells you what cars are around you that are available. They get pinged and stuff like that. And then it tells you how much it's going to cost to get from point A to point B. And then you hit confirm. Once you do that, you get the driver's name, a photo, and their car. And I think license plate too. It's crazy to think that it's all right there from one app. And it's so convenient. And there's so much more. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. That's the basic level of what they did with their app. Now, I'm bringing this up. Erica says, no, the pink fuzzy Lyft mustache went away. Oh, it did. It's super clean dashboard light now. Oh, okay. Yeah, because like we know as business owners, we have to test things out and see, and we do want to be a little fun and funky so that people remember. Remember, I remembered it. But you got to kind of make sure that you check in with your people and make sure that it's not too much, too weird. Oh, Chrissy. So Chrissy, for those who don't know, is in the UK. Chrissy, you don't have Uber or Lyft out there? I thought Uber was out that way, but maybe not. So with Uber, what's interesting is they've gotten some, bad press, I guess, like any company. And I don't remember what the bad press was, but anyway, I remember when traveling, certain airports though won't let Ubers come and pick you up where you normally would. You have to have them outside the airport because, of course, the taxi drivers who, from if I remember correctly, they go through and they do paid training and they have to go pay for this license and everything. And so it's one of those crazy things. Tammy says, yeah, be remembered, but in a good way. Yes, Tammy, that is such a good point. You want to be remembered, but in a good way. And the pink fuzzy mustache was not a good way for me, I don't think. So when it comes to the Uber and like traveling, it's the best. Like if there was no Uber, I don't know what to really trust. And it's the weirdest thing because before Uber, it was the shuttle buses at the airport, most of which, at least the ones I've seen, are super sketchy and look all tore up, and you just don't know what's going to happen once you get in that car. I mean, now the same thing could be said in that last part, could be said for anything, right? You just don't know what's going to happen. But what's cool is that Uber has a reputation and that you can rate people. And what I like about this too, I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a feature where you can share your route with somebody. So one time, we're getting into a little story time here, okay, kids? But it all plays a part. So there was this one time when a few friends and I went out and we used Uber. And mostly in my area, you have to. It's not like being in New York where you can just walk anywhere or you can just hail a taxi or whatever. Like you have to kind of plan, and somebody has to be the driver or you have to get an Uber. So it was so nice because we had an Uber, dropped us off. Now I was the one who used my Uber app to order it, but they still had to go on to their house. Now I could watch on my phone them getting from my house to their house. It was super cool. So, when you're out clubbing or whatever, I mean, I don't do that anymore very much at all, but unless it's in the kitchen. But, when you're going out, having that feature is so cool because you can see, and so many people, you guys, a lot of rich people use Uber all the time for the kids. Hey, you got to go to school? There's the Uber. See ya. Hey, you got to go to practice? I'm calling you an Uber. Like, that's a thing. And so being able to see the route that people are taking, it's just awesome, and it's so simple. Well, now Uber's taking it to the next level. So have you guys heard of any of this news? You guys know? Yeah, Chrissy says it's cool. It's really cool, Chrissy. So the reason while I'm letting you guys think about if you've heard any of the news around Uber, is I want to back up for a second and just remind us that just like us, entrepreneurs, small business owners, even nonprofits, just like us, Uber started out with one specific task, one specific thing that they wanted to just nail. And that was being able to get you to where you needed to go. And Tammy says the customer experience, it's important. It really is, Tammy. It's so important. And so when you look at Uber, something as simple as Uber, whether you love them or not, it doesn't matter. That's a whole other story. But when you look at an example of Uber and just how simple the app is, and the simple, and I say simple at least on the front end, because building apps is not simple, and there's a lot of work and a lot of money that goes into it. But when you look at this app, it's a simple task of where to. I mean, even when I say that, I'm like, gosh, how nice is that? Like, if I would have just started my business with one question like that, imagine what I could have done or what I could do. Maybe I should try that. Like all these things just from that one question. I have to look down because one of the dogs is like right there. So it's one of those things like, you just look at this specific example and it's so popular and it's everywhere. So it's a good example how it's all about where to. And this is the app you use when you want to get around wherever you're at, because there's always Uber. And of course, you can go on and make all these fun advertisements with it and all of that. But now, and I forget, I don't know how old Uber is now. In the article, it didn't say, but I'm going to guess it's been around for at least 5+ years now, I would feel like. Anyway, you guys can research that later. But we know it's been around for a few years now. And what's interesting is now they're expanding. So we're going to start seeing, I'm sure, a little bit of rebranding because, I forget what their whole name or their whole thing was. Let's see if it says it on this article. So basically, they're a ride ordering a car service. That's basically what they started out as. Like, this is your car service that you order. Now they're actually getting into car sharing service, biking, and more ways to get around in the city. So they're taking what they know, what the one thing that they wanted to set out and do. They're taking that 9 years. Thank you, Whitney. Perfect. See, 9 years. 9 years. 9 years. And now they're starting to branch out. Think about that. We remember that, I think it was Amazon, we said was 7 years before they turned a profit. I always forget if it's Amazon or who was the other one, but I'm pretty sure it was Amazon on that one. 7 years before they turned profit. We've had guests on here like Arlene who had said it was, 8 years I think it was, before she started turning a profit in her business. Like, it takes time. What we see right now on social media from everyone is not something that happened overnight. It's not the glamorous lifestyle that we see on these photos all the time. Like, there's been so much work that has built up to it. It's one of those things. It's just like, some of you guys are coaches, some of you are mentors, consultants, all of that. Same here. You're not just hiring me or you for this one job that you think, somebody who just said that they're on social media can do. Or, I'm trying to give examples, but basically what I'm trying to say is that when you invest in hiring somebody for a project, yes, it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be worth it when you find the right person because they're bringing all the years of experience. Like when you guys hire me, I'm not just bringing to the table what I just Googled for you 5 minutes ago. I'm bringing everything in my 10 plus, I was going to say 30 years, but we'll just say 10 plus years of experience where I've been in with small businesses. I've worked with nonprofits. I've been able to study, go to school, pay attention to what's out in the news, listen to podcasts, watch all of these training videos. Like, you're getting all of this that's up here. This is like, you can't even put a price on that when you think about it, right? So that's what you have to think about. And so when it comes to this, having one thing that you start with and running with it for a while, which is why it's important to realize it takes time. We're all going to feel like we need to have that instant gratification. We all feel like we're going to have, some money come in today because we just talked about it. Listen, on my personal profile, I know that the news feed, let me back up for a second. We know that the news feed is all kinds of crazy, especially when it comes to business pages. Now, let's switch over to a personal profile for a minute because I want to share the example that I'm seeing. Doesn't matter really what my posts are. Well, maybe my Facebook Lives will be still higher up. It will be seen quicker, I should say. But everything else, what's interesting, is I don't start seeing the likes, the loves, the comments, like full blown, typically, until hours, if not the following day from posting. So that tells me that if there's something big coming up, and I'm not doing a live on it, I'm just trying to share, and I'm not talking about business, I'm just talking about in general for posting on my personal profile, I know that I need to try to plan ahead if I want to have that information out there. Because it could take a while before you see it. unless you have that special notification turned on, like, hey, I'm all about seeing Ed stuff first, which even then it's still hard to get, right? Paula says the owner was in DC today meeting with the mayor about their bike share. Nice. Paula's talking about YouTube. Uber. Too many U's there. Yes. So Paula, that's awesome. That's the thing. They're trying to branch out. Geez, I'm like all over the place, thinking too fast, and the words aren't coming out fast enough. So Uber is already in the works of getting this information out there. And when you Google Uber right now, well, not now, but later, if you Google Uber, you will see all the news popping up. One headline that I really liked. So here's another tip for you, for your business. You could Google Uber later and look at the headlines from the news. And if something catches your eye, make note of that. Don't even worry about it being about Uber. You're making note of the headline. Why would you make note of the headline? Because that's what's going to help you when it comes to you for writing. This is like, oh my gosh. Make note of the headline that stands out to you, because you can use that information later to help you when you start writing your email series, when you start writing your blog post, when you come up with a title for your Facebook Live, like whatever it is. Use trending news headlines to help inspire you for the next thing. So this headline, after Googling Uber earlier, this headline says, Uber wants to do it all, rideshare, car share, train tickets. Boom. Uber. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Like that. Now you want to know. You're like, okay, well, I want to know about Uber. Now I want to know, ride sharing. Okay. Oh, car share. Interesting. Train tickets. Say what? So think about that when you're looking at any kind of trending news. If you're struggling with coming up with topic ideas or headlines, go look at what's trending in the news and see what stands out to you, and make note of that so that you can take a look at it. So so Uber is already meeting there. And here's a quote from this article. Quote, "We're going beyond cars. We are about mobility, making mobility available to everyone, everywhere." Now that's a pretty powerful statement. That's pretty powerful. I'm going to take that. That's from the Uber Chief Executive Officer Dara. I'm not even going to try to say her last name. Sorry if you're seeing this, but I cannot even attempt that. We want to be part of the solution. Look at that. Do you hear that? That's that customer experience right there. I'm going to pop this into the comments. Boom. Hey, Mindy. Yeah, good idea, right? And again, they started with one idea, one specific, focused idea. They ran with it for a long time. They built up their user database. They built up their customer experience. They tested. They saw what works, what didn't. They're listening. They're also, I'm sure, asking. But they're asking and they're listening to their customers. So my current experience, because like I said, when I'm around here, I don't normally take Uber because I can just drive my car. But this weekend, I decided to take Uber. And it was like, oh, I forgot how convenient Uber is and how nice it is to just be like, boom, okay, they're here. Let's go. And then you're on your way. And then you just get dropped off. You don't worry about parking. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But what's also nice now, because last time I used it, again, it's been a while, but the last time I used it, they didn't have the tip feature built in. And I was like, I let the driver go, and I was at my destination, and I was like, crap, I forgot to tip him. Did I miss that in the app? So I go looking for it, and at the time, they didn't have it in the app. And I'm like, if I'm supposed to use this device to call my driver, to pay my driver, how come I can't tip my driver? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. of course, after feedback, I'm sure from several of us, then they pop that in, and now you can tip them. It just makes sense, right? Because why would we have cash if we're doing everything mobile, right? So it's thinking about that and asking and listening and looking at the user experience. Now here, I'll go a little bit deeper on that one. I don't know if they did this. I'm going to say this is what I would have done, and then this is what you can pull from this. When you're looking at that user experience, if I was Uber, I would totally have it set up in a way where I can check in with real customers. I'm either going to sit there in the back seat and hang out with them, maybe in the front seat and just kind of observe, like I'm going to go on ride-alongs. If I couldn't do that, I'm going to see if people would agree to, because of course privacy concerns and everything, you got to always be careful, so you got to go through the proper channels, but see if you could monitor the experience, virtually. Have a camera set up in the car and let the people know before they get in. I mean, go through all that stuff. But basically what I'm getting at is you want to, no matter if you're Uber or, your advertising agency or your mom and pop shop, like whatever it is that you're doing or will be doing, you need to know that you have to always try to get in your customer's head as much as possible. You want to see what they're doing. There's that great example from one of the books I was reading about Swiffer and how Swiffer came about. Long story short, it came about through one person from a marketing company who really went into the homes and observed what people did to clean up products or use cleaning products, and how one person had dropped coffee grounds on the ground. I'll never forget this. The example was that the woman dropped coffee grounds on the kitchen floor. She grabbed a paper towel, got it wet, swooped it up off the floor, and threw it away. That's when that person knew that is what was going to be the next cleaning product that was going to take over kitchens everywhere. And of course, Procter & Gamble did not think that at first. They're like, no, you got to go back to the drawing board, figure it out. Like, that's not going to work. And they were like, no, this is, you put that on the end of a stick and you have yourself the next big thing. And how many of you probably have a Swiffer in your house? I can't really stand it because I feel like it's too short, and I've broken a couple of them, so I don't really. But they're there and they're everywhere. So it's that kind of stuff that you have to pay attention, and that's another reason why it's okay to stay small and mighty. That having low numbers for your social media accounts, for your email list, for your live views, for your replay views, for your reach, whatever it is, your sales, it's okay to have low numbers. I know you're probably like, this guy is crazy. What is he talking about? It's okay. Have low numbers. Encourage yourself to have low numbers. Focus on those numbers, because the small and mighty numbers that you have give you the advantage of diving deeper with those people and being able to figure out what it is that they want. What are they coming to you for? I had to be reminded today, because I was coming up with, I like being creative, surprise, surprise, and I like, making my own ads. Again, not paying for somebody to do these ads, but like just making like little advertisement flyers that I can post on social media for myself. And so I was making some for the Hey Ed community, because I thought, it'd be fun to just put some fun quotes together and try to just be consistent with sharing that out there. And I had to be reminded today of, why not put your face on there, Ed? Because I was creating these flyers with fun stock images, because I like the vision I see with some of these images, and I realized from what they were saying, they're like, but you're the special thing that brings it together. You're the one. And you can see the quote. Well, it's not really the quote. I didn't post the quote, but you can see on my personal profile, I had mentioned about that for you guys. The same type of thing is that we have to be reminded that whatever it is we're creating, our product, our service, whatever, it's still us, you, right there, that makes it special. So you have to remember that, especially starting out. So don't be afraid of your numbers being low. Don't get discouraged about your numbers being low. Embrace that. Run with it. Ask yourself, what can I do with this? How can I make this better? Like we talked about that yesterday, right? That's the thing I talk about all the time. I ask myself all the time. I'll be looking at something as, well, we used the tripod yesterday. Well, I guess I'll use it again. So we used the tripod yesterday for those who aren't here. I love this selfie stick tripod. It's the best thing ever. And I'm not a selfie stick person, although I am now with this guy. I'm not going to tell you the improvements that I would have for this, but I already sketched everything out and already know what I would improve on this. I'm not in this business. But if somebody came to me and wanted to do something with it, and we worked out a good deal, hey, I already got the sketches good to go. So it's like, and I don't spend a ton of time when I go those routes, but it's those types of things. How can I make this better? Let me look at the comments real quick. Mickey says, making mobility available to everyone everywhere. I love that. Yeah, it's powerful because Uber is something that people with different abilities might need to utilize in order to get things where they need to go. Mickey, I know where you're going with that, and that exactly. And seeing that route, I mean, how cool would that be? You guys, I'm not a parent, but when you have kids, it doesn't matter where they're going, what they need to do, or whatever. If you're using Uber, how much safer do you feel being able to watch the little car on the map go from point A to point B and then get the text or the call from your kid saying, I made it. And you're like, yes, I couldn't be there, but yes. I mean, that's pretty priceless. Even if it only costs you $15 or something, depending on where you live and where you're going, right? Tammy says, you are the face of your brand. Deal with it. Yeah. Basically, exactly. Well said, Tammy. Well said. And you guys, that does take a while to get used to. If you're like me, I will be honest, it has taken me time to get used to my face being plastered everywhere. It's the weirdest thing, and I still feel awkward sometimes because I'm like, I don't want this to all be about, I don't want people thinking like, this is all about the Ed show, like it's all Ed. He's like, whoa, watch out, it's Ed time. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. And maybe that's because, growing up with the kids in school and stuff not being so nice, maybe that has something to do with it, I don't know. But yes, we are the face of the brand and we have to just deal with it and we just have to get more comfortable with it. And the more we are out there and the more we push those limits, the more comfortable we get with it. So we're getting close on time because I have to end early because I have to be at 5 o'clock, which is in 11 minutes, over on Instagram for the guest expert. But I wanted you to remember that, whatever you're building or going to build, you need to take time to really understand it and know that you're going to be in it for the long haul and that it's not necessarily going to make you money or even good money for many years. I know that's hard to hear. It's hard to say. Trust me. But if it's something that you actually like and that you are somewhat passionate about, you're going to make it work. And you're going to have these pivots along the way. And if you start utilizing your numbers for the better, instead of worrying about, I got to get 400 followers. You guys know, for those who follow me, I get cringe. I just cringe when today there was a promo in one of the groups I'm in, and again, magic happens in the comments. And so of course, and it's a promo thread, you can promo whatever you want, and all they put in there was, I'm trying to get to 400 followers, and then a link to their page. I just looked at it and I did that. I was like, I wanted so bad to reach out and say, why? Why do you want 400 followers? What is 400 followers going to do for you? You're not even being specific. You're not even saying what you do. You're assuming that just because you said you wanted 400 followers, that I, the viewer, is going to go ahead and click on your link and then go and click on your profile and follow you. And then magically, when you hit 400 followers, all the money in the world is coming to you. Like, it doesn't work like that. Yes, there's a thing about having more numbers. It looks better. It feels maybe better. But if they're not the right numbers, then it doesn't mean anything. So again, remember, it's not about the sale today. It's about the relationship over time. And that's what you have to nurture and work with. And if you have low numbers, embrace that. Be proud of that and work with that. That was a good quote, Mickey, right there. I'll have to watch that later. Erica says, not even the dog likes that strategy. Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't think that it's about the value you provide. Yeah, exactly, Chrissy. It's all about the value that we provide. And we have to remember that, and we really have to do that. Electra, yes, they're not enough engaging with you, then you still have nothing. Exactly. You guys, you have nothing if they're not engaging. Remember, you show up, you deliver, and you engage. The first two are the things that you have to do yourself. The third one is the most important, is engaging. And yes, you have to do that, but you can only do that if somebody else is working with you, right? So that's why the first two are so important for you as an individual, but all three work for you getting to the next level. And that's what we're all about. That's what I teach you, right? It's not about the sale today. It's about the relationship over time. Exactly, Mickey. Okay, cool. So I got to let you guys go because I got to get ready for the Instagram live where I'm being a guest expert. It's in the link is in the comments. If you guys need anything, you also have my other link, which is the All Ed link, Magic for Everything. So I hope this was helpful for you guys and that you guys have a fantastic night. We will see you back here tomorrow. Don't forget to share this out and drop in your comments, even if you're watching the replay, and I'll check in with you guys later. Take care. I gotta go back. You guys like that? You like psych? I got you.